There is something special about poorly acted, over-the-top B-movie horror. There's a certain charm that feels timeless, but also nostalgic. And there's so many of these movies. So, when deciding what to watch, here are 5 suggestions from different parts of the world that I feel have their own special charm. La Noche del Terror Ciego is a 1971 Spanish horror film by Armando de Osorio, a quintessential atmospheric zombie classic steeped in both 70s Spanish cinema and gothic horror. This film is the first in Osorio's Blind Dead series, so there are more to enjoy. Plot-wise, a collection of horny vacationers end up at an abandoned ruin where the Knights Templar come back from the dead as blind zombie-like revenants. The way they slowly shamble, the accompanying Gregorian chant when they're on screen, the Party City skeleton hands opening doors. It shouldn't work, but it does. These skellies are unsettling. The movie is pretty slow, but there's a dreamlike romance to it thanks in parts to the hypnotizing music. I mean, those slow motion shots of the knights galloping on their undead horses is a work of art. The film is definitely of its time, but it's still an essential watch for those that love Spanish horror and undead hooded ghoulies. Cementerio del Terror is an 80s Mexican supernatural slasher film directed by Ruben Galindo Jr., who has a lot of fun with the film. It's Halloween night and a group of bored teenagers decide to steal a corpse from the local morgue. They perform a satanic ritual on the body, they awaken a demonic serial killer, a bunch of kids are in a cemetery, and then the Michael Jackson Thriller music video basically happens. The setup to the horror takes a while, but when Galindo gets going, we get non-stop thrills and bloodshed. Arguably the wildest zombie movie ever to emerge from Mexico, you can tell with its low-budget charm that it was made with love and passion for the genre. Whereas Argento and Fulci have their unique style to horror, Galindo is boisterous with his approach. This is an awesome 80s Spanish horror. And shout out to those kid actors. They really had each other's backs as they fought through a whole horde and a whole cemetery full of fucking zombies. Whether you call it Zombie, Zombie 2, or Zombie Flesh Eaters, this video nasty is Lucio Fulci's true zombie masterpiece. There are better zombie movies, but this one's my favorite. A terrible English dub, stiff acting, a unique tropical Caribbean backdrop, gruesome gore, and a soundtrack that absolutely fucks. For all its charms and for all its faults, I love this movie. And it's so much more than just an Italian copycat. This movie sports 3 of the greatest zombie moments of all time. The zombie versus shark fight, the notorious splinter in the eyeball sequence, and the undead rising from the dirt scene that became the iconic visual for the film's posters. A disgustingly grotesque undead voodoo nightmare that deserves its remarkable cult classic status. Revenge of the Living Dead Girls is a movie I rented back at my local Hastings years ago, solely on the cover alone, and those zombie girls were nightmare fuel. But now, as an adult, watching this French splatter film, I realized that this is that sexed up zombie Eurotrash that the censors tried to warn us about in the 80s. Just when you thought the Italians were the masters of video nasty's horror, French director Pierre Reinhardt comes in and makes it so much hornier. To be clear, this is not a good movie. But if you want to see a convoluted plot about corporate environmentalism, illegal business dealings, and penis-biting, vagina-impaling zombie revenge, then this might be the film for you. It's a wild B-horror movie with a softcore porno charm. It's definitely not for everyone, but the twist ending made it all worth it. Unfortunately, it's not available on streaming anywhere, so good luck finding it. Sweet Home is a criminally undervalued Japanese supernatural haunted house film directed by Kiyoshi Kurosawa that more people need to experience. It's the grandfather of the Resident Evil franchise and is a poignant story of loss, curses, and undead spirits. It boasts a fun cast of characters trapped in a spooky mansion atmosphere. Though minimal, the gore is over the top with some truly unsettling and chaotic moments that I wasn't expecting. But the real magic of the film is in its practical effects and lighting. Lady Mamiya is a tremendous animatronic final boss, and she is fucking horrifying. What I like so much about this film is that at its core, it's a story about mothers and the lengths one goes to protect their children. The fact that this movie has never gotten a physical release is criminal, but you can at least watch it on YouTube with subtitles.